Welcome to Running for Real, a global community with a shared love and curiosity for running. Together we reconnect with the reasons why we love to run and discover ways it helps us become better people. Whether it's the quiet moments of a morning run while the rest of the world still sleeps, or befriending the strangers next to you at the start line of a race, we are here to connect with others who see running as the common thread that weaves our lives together. Come join me, Tina Muir, as I talk with people from all walks of life, united by a love of running. Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode 384 of the Running for Real podcast. Thank you for joining me today. I am excited that you are here and excited to introduce you to one of my dear friends. He is a fellow St. Louisian. Is that what we say here? I should say he's a native St. Louisian, if that's the right word. I am a transplant who moved here a few years ago. But either way, I have cherished the times we have spent together over these past few years. He is the founder of STL Run Crew. He is this incredibly creative person. You're going to hear about some of his other passions and outlets that have come into his life, a lot of which I actually didn't know about until I researched. I am excited to welcome Ricky Hughes to the podcast, aka Ricky Rock, aka Ricky from St. Louis. And Ricky is, you'll hear it in this episode, he has such an energy about him. You just want to be around him. You just want to spend time with him. He uplifts everyone else. You'll hear me early on tell him not to turn this back on me because Ricky has a habit of just bigging up the people around him when the spotlight is supposed to be on him. And you're just going to feel that good vibe, that good energy, that love he gives out in this episode. I'm so excited to welcome producer, rapper, runner, creative genius, Ricky Hughes to the podcast. Let's go meet him. I could talk to you about the Tracksmith Brighton base long sleeve all day, every day. You know this. I love it. I've got the same ones I got in 2019. I still wear today. I love that they keep me warm on my core until I warm up a bit, and then they let the warm out while all the time being tighter on my arms to keep my arms warm throughout those winter months. I wear them during the day. I wear them on my runs. They can handle like 3 or 4 days of me wearing them during the day, and then 2 to 3 runs on top. Love it. That is my favorite thing about Tracksmith. But today I want to talk to you about some tights, some pants, because it is that time of year and many of you have been asking me which ones do I like. I have tried most of the Tracksmith tights. My favorite though are the session tights. They're streamlined full length for year-round performance, but I really love the way that they fit. As we know, running tights are an essential part of our wardrobe, and they made a tight in this way with the session tights that can handle everyday training regardless of the weather, but especially in these winter months. They fit well, they last long, they're durable, they are comfortable, they come in all kinds of cute colors. And I strongly encourage you to head over to tracksmith.com/Tina to go get yourself one of those Brighton bases, the long sleeves, and also my favorite are the session tights for those of you who have been asking. I have this like maroony color, or I think they call it berry, in those session tights, and I absolutely love them. They're my favorite ones to put on. That said, I want to mention with Tracksmith my favorite thing about the brand. I've mentioned I've been wearing the same item since 2019. That is the key here. If we want to reduce our carbon footprint, our individual emissions, the biggest thing we need to do is buy durable, long-lasting items that last and can handle lots of wears before washing. That is what Tracksmith shines at. Go to tracksmith.com/Tina to find out more. Ricky, my friend, I am so excited to be bringing you on the podcast. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. You have no idea. We got no idea.
Well, you know what I have no idea about is why we're not sitting together right now, as we are in the same city, and there are so, as you and I operate in this circle where we're interacting with people from other running cities, we're like lone wolves out here. Because no one ever comes to us. So we should be sitting in the same room because we are here together in St. Louis. So I want to start there.
Okay.
We are going to go on to talk about what you've created with STL Run Crew, and I've truly, it's brought me so much joy seeing what you've built over the last 1 year. It's been really impressive.
Wow.
And I do want to talk about your running journey, which is not that old, but I first want to talk to St. Louis. Tell listeners St. Louis from your perspective. As I've only lived here a few years, I don't think we've had many people on the show from St. Louis. What would you say about this city we live in, other than the fact there's an arch here?
Oh, that is a great question, because I am big St. Louis. Like, I love St. Louis. It has truly created who I am today, the ups, the downs, the good and the bad. And it's interesting because we're just like, I feel like the little brother of the country, because we just get so many different influences from like all over, East, West Coast, South. And then we kind of like see what we like and we toss them to the side, and we ultimately like create our own identity. And there's a lot of love and passion and creativeness inside St. Louis. And you might get a total different perspective of St. Louis depending on who you ask, you know? And I know oftentimes the media might portray St. Louis in a certain way, but you kind of just got to be here and experience just the love and the evolution of St. Louis. And I do feel like it is a special time right now in St. Louis from a variety of fronts. I think people are just being very collaborative and just pouring into each other. And it's just a special time. But I love St. Louis. I'm big St. Louis energy, and I'm grateful to be raising my family and myself in St. Louis. So, yeah. And we have the arch. And we have the arch. Okay.
And we have the arch, yes. That seems to be the one thing that people bring up to me, as if like that's literally the only thing they know. Or occasionally they'll be like, "Oh, you have that really cool city museum," which I still haven't been to.
You know Nelly?
Nelly, yes.
Or do you know Nelly? Like, yeah, that's my cousin.
Yeah, no, I haven't had that question yet, but I think he doesn't come back here much, does he?
He has. Yeah, he's in and out. He has actually. He's been here a lot recently.
Okay, no one's ever asked me, so I guess I'm too new to St. Louis for people to think I've thought about that. Okay, so you said there about like you think that St. Louis has this kind of beautiful way of bringing together other influences and making it R. Can I say R? If I've been here since 2019, am I R?
Yeah. R. Yeah.
Our own. Its own, our own. And you yourself, one thing I know about you, and it struck me immediately when I met you, was you are such a creative person yourself. You love to learn. You love to create. You love to find new ways to give in interesting ways. And so we know, well, we don't know. I'm going to say you only came into the running world a few years ago. You've brought that creativity to the running world, but there are also some sides of you from past creative parts of you that I'd love if you'd share a little bit with us, and then we can talk about how it ties to your running nowadays.
So you did your research, because it's interesting, because I'm on running for real, but I do have a past, and I have evolved, because now I'm like the running guy. But if you know me in St. Louis, a lot of folks know me from just like the creative space, from being an artist, a producer, a rapper, and that was a huge chunk of my life. Out of school, I'll give you a real quick spiel.
Sure, go for it.
I went to college. I played football in college. I got injured. I transferred to Mizzou, and right at my senior high school, I got into music. And a couple of my friends, we had a production company. We were like making beats and rapping. And when I graduated and went to college, the production company started to like really like boom and like pop, to the point where when I was a sophomore in college, my guys who we started the company together were going to Atlanta and like with like some really heavy hitting like artists and like rappers. So at that time I left school and we're in Atlanta. We were just all over the place doing music professionally. We were getting paid to like make beats. There's a artist here. His name is Hughes. You might gotta look him up. He has a song
I have heard.
Pop Lock and Drop It. Right? He actually he passed a couple years ago. So rest in peace to Huey. But that was our first big break. We were like a national album. We're making like thousands of dollars, and then I was in the rapping, and I started like producing and making a video and content, and I was just traveling. I went on tour with a B.O.B. with my friend. He had a band. It was just like a wild time. But honestly, it was tough for me because I was just into a lot of just that lifestyle that came with like music, like the drugs and like the women. And I was just like spiraling in a way. And one day I just left. My friends were like, what the hell are you doing? I rode my bike to this lake. I prayed. It sounds like a storybook, and like I felt like a spirit telling me to like I need to leave this situation, and I left. And I just evolved since then. But I've always been able to like pivot and like be open to my new creativities. I still did music after that, but just I knew my lifestyle had to change. But yeah. So I just was always open to different ways to create, and a lot of the same things where I like use like music and like storytelling and like the media is a huge part of my running journey. Like my story and like the music that I play underneath a video, or like how I love to dance and like entertain and perform. Like it all kind of has accumulated to create who I am now. So I'm grateful for it all.
That does actually explain a lot, because when I was at your meetup, your run a few weeks ago or a month ago, I was just so impressed with how comfortable you were in front of all those people. And granted, you'd been doing it for, close to a year at that point, but still it felt like you were just naturally there. It wasn't, it seemed so natural to you, and that kind of adds a bit to why that could be now. And obviously, as you've over time you've got used to that. But there was a big group there, and the energy you always give off, but particularly when you were starting that run, getting everyone going, it was really, really impressive to see. And I told you that at the time.
Thank you, Tina.
Was it hard? Most people that I have a few friends who have done something similar, like being in that kind of situation and have had to leave. Most of the time when they do that, they have to remove themselves from that location where it all kind of began or where it was going. Like, was that hard being here still? Like, did you find it hard to detach from that life, being that was, associated with St. Louis, or not?
Hell yeah. 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 But it also like forced me to be aware of who I was, and that no matter where I went, like if I couldn't find myself in St. Louis, then I was going to be like still chasing something. But yeah, it was hard because I still saw the same people, and a part of me was like, what if this, and was this the right decision? Or, a lot of doubt, and I was scared and the fear. But ultimately, like, there's a saying now that I use all the time. It's a Stoic saying, the obstacle is the way. And my obstacle was myself at the time, and St. Louis at the time. but that was the way, staying in St. Louis and finding myself in St. Louis. I wouldn't have done that if I moved away. Because I did. I moved to New York.
Oh, I didn't think I knew that.
I moved to New York when I was like, right after that. Like literally maybe like less than like about 8 months after that, when my brother, my really good friend who lives there to today, he moved there. I moved with him, but it was the same thing. Even worse, because you could go to a bar, get super drunk, and just stumble on a train, and it'll take you home. It was too much. Oh, yeah. It was like, so I was like, nothing changed. And I saw that. It was nothing changed. All my problems and whatever I was trying to like, whatever it was inside me that was not right, that I was trying to find myself, it followed me to New York. So then I came back and I sat with myself, and eventually I got married and had kids. And actually, I got to give my wife a lot of credit, because she was with me the whole time. The whole time. Even back when I was rapping and wilding out, went to New York, came back, this whole span of time, she, was like my rock in a way that kind of didn't let me like fall all the way off. So yeah, I tried. I came back, and ultimately I found my way. Wow. The obstacle was the way, and that obstacle became St. Louis at the time, but now it's literally like my saving grace. And now like I'm so thankful for St. Louis.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So you were trying to figure out who you were, what was missing, what you needed, what that piece of you that needed to be worked through, what that obstacle was. Where did you go from there in terms of, you had this career, you had this life, and then you had to essentially start again in many ways. Tell us a bit about the path from there.
So the path from there, I think the big wake up call was when I got this job at this organization called Better Family Life. And I was educating and like mentoring inner city youth. And I was seeing myself in these students, and it made me be accountable, because I had all these young brothers and sisters looking up to me. And I got it together, and I was kind of forced to be my own mentor, because I never really had a mentor. So I was just I bumped my head 1,000 times, but I ultimately started to find my way. And I went from there. I started working in public health. Then I'm going back to school. Then I graduated, I got married, and I had kids. But I think like me being in a situation where like I was in the community as Mr. Ricky and not Ricky Rock. If you want to YouTube Ricky Rock, you might see some of my old rap videos as Tina is saying. But I was now Mr. Ricky, so I was like accountable, and I had to grow up because I had young boys looking up to me, and they needed me, and that changed my life. But now I look back, like that was God showing me, like I have a light, but I got to get it right. Ooh, there's a little rap right there.
Yeah, good line there.
I always knew it was something, but like God forced me to get it right because He had to get me right because I had something inside me that He needed people to feel and see. So that got me together and ultimately created a path for me to find myself. But I'm continuing to do that too. I'm not like I found myself. I'm always trying to just be open to like what is the next evolution of myself. Because I hope that continues my whole life.
Taking care of your health isn't always easy, but it should at least be simple. That's why for the last 5 years, I've been drinking AG1 every day. No exceptions, 1 scoop mixed in water once a day, every day, and it makes me feel good. I feel energized. I can take on the day knowing no matter what happens, no matter what my food intake looks like, I have taken care of myself. That's because each serving of AG1 delivers my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more. It's a powerfully healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. I know with AG1, I'm getting this high quality nutrition. Every batch goes through this rigorous testing process so you know it's safe. Their ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrient density. If there's one product I had to recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1. And that's why I've partnered with them for so long. So if you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/Tina. That's drinkag1.com/Tina. Check it out. We never want to reach a point where we've figured it all out. And it's funny, actually, my dad this morning, my daughter, as you know, it's her birthday today. And
happy birthday.
Yeah. And my dad said to her, "Oh, when you get to my age, birthdays aren't fun." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I agree with that." And he was saying, "Well, it's just, you get old and stuff." And I was like, "Well, I was just watching something on Jane Goodall, who is the woman that went to live with the chimpanzees, if you have heard of her. And she's like in her 90s, and she still is like she talks about how she's like still learning who she is. And that's where you want to be, right? Is someone that's like 90 years old who is still kind of like shedding layers of themselves, figuring out, evolving. So
powerful.
Okay. So then you head at your, figuring out this part of you, working through your next stage of evolution. When did movement come along for you? I won't say running yet, but movement.
So I've always been moving, like all too fast. And I kind of mentioned I played football in college. So I was an athlete. That really was like, now as it comes full circles, I was like, God put me all through all that to bring me back to running, because humbly said, I was an elite sprinter back in my day, but just 100, 200, that's it. The 400 was a punishment. Nothing over 200. When I say elite, just to give you when I was a junior, I was in lane 4 in 100 in state. I was the number 1 seed. I was supposed to win state. I didn't. I got 4th 2 years in a row. So I've always been like running, but never like distance. So to answer your question, when like this type of movement came to play was in about 2021.
Recent.
The pandemic. I was anxieties, like depressed, in the house. And I started to I remember, so my wife's dad worked at a shoe store. So he had got me some Brooks. These Brooks so heavy and clunky, but I'm like, oh, I got some like running shoes. So I'm walking in them, not really running. I kind of jogging. I had a watch, so I wasn't really running. I didn't have a watch and nothing. I wasn't tracking my run or nothing. But I could tell I started to feel better, and it was getting me outside, away from my house when I had my kids in the house. My wife was working from home. I'm working from home. I was just trying to get out the house. I didn't care. It just happened to be walking and running that was getting me out the house. But the real catalyst was Ahmaud Arbery. And I don't know if I've really told this story in depth, but I remember like yesterday, I saw the video of Ahmaud Arbery being murdered. I cried. I went to Sprint and got an Apple Watch. I don't know why I needed an Apple Watch, but I needed an Apple Watch. And I worked for BJC at the time in community health, and we had got 60% off ASICs. That's why even me working with ASICs now is like a full circle. Like my first real pair of running shoes with ASICs, because they had a deal with healthcare workers to get 60% off. So I got some Gel Nimbus 22s. I'll never forget. And I remember like just running and like running like I'm sprinting and getting tired. And I'm like, dang, I kind of ran far. And then I started just run a little more. And like, but this time I didn't know what a run crew was. I had never posted anything about running. I was just running around my cul-de-sac, and I started to feel better. My mind started to get clear. I started to get more confident in myself. But the catalyst was like me feeling like I had to finish my Arby's run. And that was the spark that like sent me out the door, literally. And that's how I got to running more than a 200 meter was. Yeah. I got to, my brother Ahmad Aubrey was the reason that I started to move.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, that moment was very jarring and like a catalyst for many people in taking action. But as you said, for you being able to kind of finish what he started and should have been able to finish himself. And then recognizing for you that I'm assuming you still keep Ahmad in your heart, and then somewhere along the way, kind of your own appreciation for what this was bringing to you came along as well. So, tell us when was the first run you kind of remember thinking like, oh, this is something I am enjoying. This is something I want to continue seeing what I can do here. Or maybe like when you signed up for Strava or something, I don't know, like something runner. I mean, obviously other than going to the Apple store and getting a pair of Nimbus.
Yeah. So besides the Apple Watch and the ASICs, I still like really didn't know anything about like distance running, endurance, training, anything. Cadence, literally, I didn't know anything. The spark was, I remember thinking like, oh, like I'm kind of, I think I ran like a mile. I ran a mile nonstop. I'm like, oh man, like I want to like race. That's what I felt. I want to race, right? I remember I Googled like St. Louis race. It probably was like Fleet Feet's calendar or something. And it was the trap run, which is also a full circle moment for me too. So I like trap run. I signed up for trap run and I bought like some vapor flies. I had to have vapor flies.
You were with it. The shoes. You're 3 pairs in already.
I'm a sneakerhead. So turn running, like I just like, and also like I like the style of like running. Like you see like Pioneer, like I love the whole style of running too. So that was right on my alley. So I bought like Nike, shirt, pants, vapor flies, and I ran this 5K. Didn't even know how long a 5K was, but I'm going to divert a little bit because what really sparked me to do that was when I went to LA and I was doing a fatherhood podcast for this company called Dear Fathers. I was in LA. I was interviewing dads at this Airbnb. Didn't research any of the dads because it was like a pop-up thing. And I was interviewing this guy. His name was Butter from LA. Keep it 100, right? When he's like, yeah, I'm Butter. Like, I got this run crew. It's like popping. I'm like, while I'm interviewing him, I'm thinking like, what is? I had never seen a run club in my life. I'm like, a run crew. So he's talking. He like got like a Nike jump. Mind you, I found out he's like a Nike athlete. Like, Butter is like. Butter is really like my like mentor in this because he opened my eyes. So anyway, he said, yeah, man. So after the interview, I got on my phone, went to IG. I was like, Butter, like, what? Like, you like, this is like, you so modest in the interview. I'm like, this is like popping. He's like, yeah, you should come to the run tonight. It's 3 Mile Thursdays. I'm like, okay. I had another pair of running shoes. I had bought another pair of running shoes. I brought to LA before the Vaporflies, and I went to the run, and it was like 200 black, brown, white, Asian, Spanish-speaking people running in LA at 7 p.m. on a Thursday. Blew my mind. I'm like, what the hell is this. So I got back to St. Louis. That's when when I tried to run with him, I was like running, walking. I couldn't even run the whole 5K. Like I was doing way too much. And then I came back. I signed up for a 5K. Like in like a couple weeks, I called Butter like, hey, Butter, how do I run a 5K? Like, what should I do? He said, Ricky, you're going to be straight. I'm like, that's what he told me. He said, you're going to be straight. Just don't go out too fast. You're going to be straight. I'm like, thanks. That's not what I was calling for, Butter. But so I raced. I actually went kind of crazy. I won my age division.
Amazing.
What the heck? So that was it. I'm like, oh, no, it's over now. And that was the spark, not only to create, like, seeing what the possibilities of a run crew could be, like a diverse run crew, but also I knew I was missing, like, that challenge, like the excitement of sport. And Butter and that 5K showed me the community and like my personal goals are still attainable. And I was off to the races then. No pun intended. That was it.
I mean, it kind of works. There's so many directions I could go from here. Were you, so immediately then, in that moment, you thought, I want to do something here similar. And you mentioned earlier that some parts of your past kind of have led into, are still benefiting you, still a part of what you're doing today. And I'm guessing that kind of crew culture that you experienced, that very diverse group mix of people that you saw out in LA, was kind of tapping into that part of you that maybe you missed from your past. And so, talk to that piece. Let's start with that. In terms of what was it about a run crew that really, I mean, obviously it was involving this new thing that you were getting excited about, but beyond that, what was it that really spoke to you?
To be honest, I still didn't want to start a run crew.
Okay. So you weren't at that point.
What I wanted to do, Tina, though, because in LA, I was running with my camera and like I posted the video, like I wanted to do that. Mm-hmm. It was still it was more the creative side that I was like trying to still find a way to find. So I wanted to like run with other, once I knew what a run crew was, I started kind of looking around St. Louis and like saw run crews. I did have a couple friends as I started to run were trying to tell me to start a run crew. I was like, nah, too much time. I ain't got time. I'm doing a lot of other things. I do a lot of other community building things outside of like, my job. So I didn't have the time. I wanted to run with my camera and do my content and find a new creative outlet. That's what I thought I had found. Mm-hmm. What I did find. But what got me, what peer pressure means starting a run crew, to be honest, is once I started running in St. Louis, I realized that all the run crews were all white. Mm-hmm. All Absolutely. Of them. Yeah. But that wasn't it, because I still was running with him. Like I got a couple good, like Mark Spiewak. Like Mark is one of my white brother. He's one of the guys that told me, Ricky, I think you'd be a good coach. He was like, I think you can start a run crew. This man has a whole racing team. He told me. I'm like, no, Mark, I just want to run with y'all. I want to run fast. I want to be cute. I want to do my content. This is what I want to do. But what happened was, I was running with some folks one time, and I went to a meetup, and like nobody spoke to me, and they handed me like a route, and I got lost in downtown Clayton at nighttime. I had the GPS back to my car, Tina, and I'm like, that was it. I'm like, that just did not, like, that was just such a terrible experience. Like, I went in, and granted, I don't fault them, because that was the catalyst. Like, no one spoke. I know I stuck out. Like, I was the only black person there. Like, y'all, you saw me. At least say, like, hey, what's your name? Something. And then, also, I'm Ricky Rock. Like, I feel like, hey, I'm bringing some energy. I'm like, but like, nobody spoke to me. I got lost in downtown Clayton, one of the most richest counties in the country.
Yeah.
So I'm a little scared. I'm this nighttime black guy running in Clayton. I had the GPS in my car. It was that was like, okay, I need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But it still wasn't a run crew. I wanted to like do pop-ups at businesses. And that's what I did. I did some pop-ups at some businesses. This was like in 2022, the end of 2022. I did one. My first one, nobody came. The second time, one person came.
Wait, pause while you there. How did you keep showing up in these moments? That is hard to, when you... we talk about this often on this podcast when people start things like this and they so want to make change. They want to make something important and then one person shows up or no one shows up. And I've had like events that I've hosted, like you often say to me like, oh, there's Tina. And I'm like, no, sometimes literally I have one person or no people show up. And it is hard to like continue doing it, putting yourself out there, especially when you would have done, I imagine, like not advertised it, but like put yourself out there on the internet saying, here's where I'm going to be. And in your head, you're thinking people are looking at this afterwards being like, well, how was it then? So how did you keep, what went through your head then after that first two?
First, I want to say this is like this interview.
Don't flip this on me, Ricky. No, we're keeping this on you.
Okay. But this is, I never reflected like this.
Okay, good. I thought you were going to flick it back at me. I was like, no, we're staying on you.
I mean, yeah, but what you're doing is like having me like reflect on like why and what. I've never done it, so it's the real deal. But okay, so why? But it kind of goes back to the media, the content, because that very first time I still took my picture, I ran on my phone, I created like a dope reel. I even ran past I did it in the area where I ran past my childhood home. So it was like a thing. Like I took a picture in front of my childhood house, I posted it, I did a video. I'm like, that was fun. I didn't really care nobody came. I almost was cool because I wanted to run past I changed the route that I had. I was like an Outback. I changed the route to run past my childhood home, and like, oh, that was fun. So it was the creativity and the telling of my story that was like, okay, let's do the next one. And that's when I did the next one, and then one person came, and I ran, and me and Janice, and she still comes out every Sunday. It's my dog. My A1. I tell her all the time, she is like a huge reason why I kept going. Because the second time, I don't know if I could have did it twice, not Tina. I don't know about the second time, but the second time, one person came and did my content, did the reel, posted, it was dope, and then the next time, 7 people came, and then it was up after that. I'm like, damn, 7 people came. Then next time, like 9 people came. And then I'm like, I just posted fire team. It was like 5 spots. Jennings, North County, U City, Tower Grove Park, and one more other spot, just all around St. Louis. And then after we did from 1, 2, like 7, 8, I'm like, now I think I almost like a pilot. It ended up being like a pilot to see. Yeah. Because I still kind of scared to do a run crew, but like that showed me like, yeah, people in St. Louis want to run. They need it. And SCL Run Crew was born like right after that. Right? Literally like a month after that, I just posted SCL Run Crew. I came up with the logo and just posted the same thing. And we did that downtown Kena Plaza, and like 8 people came the first time. But the real first time was nobody. First time was nobody. But I knew that something was happening inside of me because I knew that I was going to still run no matter what. Yeah. It would change my life. It was helping me deal with some of my vices. It was making me more confident. It was making me healthy. I was a better husband, better father, better man. So I really like wasn't doing it for like anybody. I was doing it for like the most selfish reason, which was what I needed at that time. I was doing it so I could be a better person mentally, spiritually, and physically. And then the community piece was like the missing piece that like I didn't know that I needed and that St. Louis needed, the community.
Just want to pause us for a moment here. If you are hearing this conversation about precision and thinking, oh, yep, I've been meaning to do that, now is the time. You hear Lucy talking about how amazing the team are in terms of making sure every single runner has the fuel they need. And I've mentioned to you before that there is a free fuel and hydration planner that Precision has made, which you can get for free by going to the links in the show notes. And also you can get that free 20-minute consultation so you can figure out exactly what you need. You can ask your questions, no strings attached. So if you use code Tina Sent Me, you can get 15% off at Precision. Just a reminder, my favorite items are the gels in original flavor, as well as the mint and lemon chews. You can also get your electrolytes there. Lucy mentioned she likes the 1500. I tend to use the 1000. You can use the links in the show notes or go to precisionfuelandhydration.com/Tina or use code Tina Sent Me to go get that 15% off. And again, check the links in the show notes because you will be able to go check out that fuel and hydration planner and book yourself a free consultation. All right, back to the episode. I wonder how much of it was, you say the word selfish. I don't know if I would have used that term, but like, I wonder if it was something about, you know, how there's certain people, and you are absolutely one of these like, just energy people that you can feel in the room. Like, even if I didn't know you were in a room, it's like I could feel you were in there, because you just have this energy about you. But I wonder how much of it is that like other people were sensing that you were doing this work on yourself, and that it wasn't about like, look how many people showed up to me. It was about you working on you, and they were drawn to that. So you're nodding. So if people said that to you.
Yeah, especially like if you knew the real Ricky Rock, like I was outside, Tina. I was like wilding, like, I mean, from drinking, heavy smoking, just like the part, like the life. I had the same energy, but it was like directed in like a reckless way. But even my friends, not like, I'm not no holier than thou, and I'm not far from perfect, but the evolution is very evident, you know. And when people started to see that, this man was like, what the hell? Like, Ricky is like running and like talking about like health and community. I think it's just like people want to like see like, is this for real? And like, or maybe just like they were drawn to just seeing how movement impacted me. But my close friend tell me all the time, like, man, Ricky, like, you make it like, how you gonna change like that? Like, you making it hard on us? Because I did a 180, Tina. I really did. But it really wasn't me. It was like, I mean, it's like, I don't sound like Reverend Ricky or nothing, but it was God for sure. It was God for sure. Like, God was like pushing me to evolve from the youth to like just my whole evolution. Like, it was like God just pushing me, like boom, 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 pushing me. He's pushing me now, you know, to keep going. So yeah.
And I got to see when I ran with you, one of your, I can't remember where you said you knew him from, a friend who you said had got into running, joined STL Run Crew. He was I'm going to run a 5K. I'm going to run a PR. And we were just out on our run. It was like right around the end of December. And he was so proud of himself, and he was so excited, and you were so excited to watch the journey that he had come on. So that was a really cool moment to get to see someone who you had inspired to start this journey as well. And I'm sure there have been many more.
So he was like, at Mizzou in college, we were Batman and Robin. We were like, and he was more wild than me, Tina. So people looking at Ernest like, what? If almost like if Ernest can do this, then I can do this too. And like that's my brother. He a captain now. Like he just like he keep me accountable. He like when we meet Ricky, like what's good? Like he's like he keeps me like I'm so grateful for him and like just everyone that's like kind of just continue to pour into me and inspiring me and like showing me like that like we all in this together and we just getting started, you know. And you might get to this too, but like I do feel like I know you mentioned it before, but I changed my name on IG to Ricky from St. Louis, right? And the reason I did that is because not only E champions me, but like other like I feel like the running community uses social media the best. Like I have met brothers that like I love that I have met on IG. And
didn't we meet on IG?
I'm sorry?
Didn't we meet on IG first?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I love you, Tina. And I met you on IG. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's just that's so powerful. And I changed my name because when I feel like people, back to St. Louis, I feel like when I was in New York at the New York Marathon, St. Louis, me being from St. Louis, something about me, I think I'm a good guy, right? But I also think St. Louis, people didn't look at us or me as like competition, but like a little brother. That's why I said that, like trying to help me, like, hey, this week from St. Louis, he got a run crew. This week from St. Louis, he got a run crew. Like he popping, da da da. And then so even when I met Joe from Detroit, I ran my first half marathon in Detroit. I went to the little they had like a little shindig after. He talked to me for like 30 minutes before we even walked in, just giving me all game and wisdom. Like, what's your demographics in St. Louis? Had me thinking, like, I'm having my percentages all off. Like, I think it's like 50-50. He's like, go check. It's like 80-20. But like that stuff and like meeting Sid and going to New York and meeting Jerry and like Jack in Chicago, like, the running community on IG, the running community around the country have like showed me so much love. That's really inspired me too. Like to get that love from brothers that I just met is changing the narrative, especially as like a black man where like people think that we're always at odds. And I'm here to debunk that, especially in the run community, because folks have showed me so much love. And I'm just so grateful because I'm Ricky from St. Louis, and I think that does have that is a unique thing about our city where like people have been wanting to like help us grow and evolve, you know, because we are new to this whole, you know, running scene. So I know I kind of went on a tangent, but
no, I'm glad you shared that. I was talking
about like my influences, like Ernest and like other brothers have really like influenced me. I'm
so glad to hear you say that. You named some of the best people in the space. And for listeners, Sid, I haven't had Jerry on yet. Sid, Jack, who else did you say? Oh, Joe.
You had Jack on?
I've had Jack on. I've had Joe.
Oh, Jack is my boy.
Jack. From Peace Runners, yeah?
Peace Runners, yes. You know, also Matt from District Run Collective. Matt and Bean.
I've met Matt as well, yes.
From District Running Collective.
No, I've met one of the, what are the District Run Collective? I've met one of them. Was it Matt?
Matt, Bean, it's a few of them.
Okay, I met one of them.
I also know like IG names too, so you know how you know calling my IG name. I might not know that really.
But all amazing influencers, and the ones you mentioned that I haven't interviewed, I want to, and just, as you said, good examples of other Black men who are not only doing amazing work, but reaching back to bring other people with them. And that is just
I'm sorry, I said Joe, but Joe and Lance.
Yeah,
Joe and Lance,
absolutely.
They are special. Joe Lance is like gave me all game too, so I don't want to. No,
for sure.
Lance, my brother too.
Yeah, I love both of them. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but I got Lance his picture that was in Chicago, the banner.
Yeah. Well, he's not doing this or something like.
Yeah,
he's doing something like
he's
that.
putting his hands to his mouth.
Yeah, it's dope.
So like I chased it down because I knew how much that meant, and so it was really cool seeing that he'd got it.
Oh, you got him the actual picture?
I got him the banner, yeah, off the light post.
That's a Tina effect right there, right? Now I'm gonna throw that back at you. Hey, if you get a picture of me, Tina.
If you're on the picture, I will make sure I get you the picture. I promise you that right now. So actually, let's go there. Well, no, I want to go down the Chicago tangent in a minute. Okay, with what you were just saying there about your name, not only changing it from Ricky Rock, but having this. And also you said about Joe, him having that creative musical producer side of him too. I'm sure you two had some great conversations. Why only now? I mean, obviously the catalyst was that those conversations in New York when you were at the whose group were you with in New York?
I was down there with everybody.
Oh, you were moving around. Okay.
I was moving around.
Okay.
Yeah, I really was. So I was really a lot with, Jared Butler. He's with Asics.
Mm-mm.
He's a great brother too. I don't want to forget him, but that's what I was really like with. But
okay.
My family has been in New York is Jerry. You got to have Jerry on and GFTC, Goldfinger Track Club.
Okay.
Those are that's my family, and that's who I run with a lot when I'm in New York. I've been there twice to run, like I'm always in there. But when I'm in New York, I run with GFTC.
Okay, all right, I will look them up for sure. Okay, so but you only changed it. You changed it because I know the actual catalyst was people keep saying, "Oh, this is Ricky from St. Louis."
Yeah.
But why did you I don't know if you know this, but Tommy Bailey, Tommy Runs. His thing used to be, I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Tommy Runs. It was Tommy something else, Tommy Lifts or something like that. And so why did it take all this time to kind of change your handle, change that evolution? Or did you think up to that point until that kind of light bulb went off that this was all, I don't know. I'm just trying to say, like, did the Ricky Rock of you ever feel like it was like pulling you backwards? And it took you till then to kind of like become the new version of you. We like took off your skin essentially. Or was that not something you ever felt was like you wanted to keep it as Ricky Rock?
I just knew I had, it was a new chapter. Mm-hmm. I knew I had evolved.
So that marked the next chapter.
It's just so much Ricky Rock, like Ricky Rock. I mean, it was just, and also like, I just liked how it sounded. I like people saying Ricky from St. Louis, you know?
Yeah.
It just like people kept saying like Ricky from St. Louis and Ricky from St. Louis. Like I was like almost like championing St. Louis. Because people in St. Louis, like me being in the New York Marathon, people were like, what the hell? Like we don't see that type of stuff. I know very few people that have ever even been to the New York Marathon. Like I don't even know if I know anybody before that had ever been to the New York Marathon.
Yeah.
So like I really feel like I was like Ricky from St. Louis. Like I was like known for the St. Louis. And I also felt like I was evolved. It was a new chapter. You know.
So you gotta be changing the whenever I meet someone in the running space and they say, "Where are you from?" and I say St. Louis and they go, "Oh." Like that's the reaction every time. Oh, and maybe it's like the British. Why is the British person in St. Louis? Like that's random. But it's I kind of come to the conclusion that people don't really know what to say because usually you're like, okay, what's something I know about that place that they live?
Yeah.
And there's nothing they can think of other than the arch, which is to say, oh, you have an arch, which sounds dumb. So then they just say, oh. And so you're going to have to go around educating people, and I'm doing that too. But okay, so Chicago.
Yeah, you
have this coming up. You already let the cat out of the bag. You are running Chicago this year. Tell us about what that means to you. And I'm going to make sure I'm at the finish when you cross. Tell me about the excitement around that.
Well, first of all, I've never said that publicly.
Oh, well, now it's out. No, I let the cat out of the bag.
And this is how it's going to be out right here. I haven't. So yes, I'm running Chicago, my first major, my second marathon. Ran my first in April in St. Louis because Ricky from St. Louis had to run his first marathon in St. Louis. But oh my God, I'm getting emotional, right? I'm already emotional. I'm gonna be crying the whole time. Like, something I never, even running a marathon, is something I never in a million years thought I could do. I didn't know how long a marathon was 2 years ago. I didn't know how long it was. I would have said 50 miles. I don't know. I had no idea. But for me to represent, like, not only for being like a young Black distance runner, but like from St. Louis, I know I'm gonna be a lot of people's first person they know to run a world major, because I only know like maybe one or two personally. My boy Adrian and Stasi, both from St. Louis. They ran Chicago. Well, Adrian ran Chicago last year and Stasi before that, but I only know two people that ran a world major. So it's just up. I'm just so excited about it. I want it to be injury free. I want to have fun. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to go crazy. I want to just like enjoy it. Enjoy representing something that I thought I never thought I would do. I'm excited. My family's coming. Hotel's expensive as hell, but we're gonna be out in Chicago October 13th. My birthday is October 1st, so it's like a birthday bash.
Yes.
For me too, you know?
I love that. Well, last year I went out for dinner with Sid, Jack, my friend Michael, who you met, was running with me a few weeks ago. Who else? Someone else we were talking about.
All-Star. That's
we had like dinner. A bit. Martinez, and there was one other. This is. I can't remember who the other person was, but anyway. So this year we will be adding Ricky and family if need to the dinner. Ricky, is there anything else you want to share with the running community, with the listeners? We've just made a big reveal that you're doing Chicago, which is so exciting, and I'm so excited for you. And you have the right mindset about it, not like I want to do this. Anything else you want to share?
Before I share, you mentioned Sid. I want to shout out Sid.
I love that man so
and
much.
Pioneers. And my pants. I'm gonna show you my pants, because I already wear my pants so comfortable. Sid and Pioneer was the first brand to ever send me anything. Send me a whole bunch of socks for my STL run crew in January. It was like week 2. We had like 8 people. He sent me like 10 pair of socks. So Sid is forever like showed me like, dang, I could get brands to send me stuff, and like, because I'm doing something I love to do, so I'll be remiss to not Sid, my brother, man. I love Sid.
You've just made me. Sid was at the dinner.
No, you said Sid.
Did I? Okay, good.
Yeah, that's why I thought of Sid. You said Sid.
Okay, good. Yeah. You did mention Sid earlier. Sid. Yes.
You said Sid first. Okay, come on, you know you're going. You ain't gonna forget Sid.
I was gonna say I would have to edit this episode.
No, you said Sid first. Run it back. You said Sid first.
Okay.
But something I want to share. Man, just like be open to like your heart and creativity, and like trying new things, and like not like completely putting your head down and like this is it, because if your head isn't up, you can't see the pivot. And they often say, like, it's a saying, they say like a jack of all trades is a master of none. But my take on that is old. That's old wisdom. Because I feel like you can do a few different things. Like you can run, you can do media, you can get into style, you can public speak, you can like throw community events, and like all these things have like just like been like Captain Planet. It's my favorite cartoon. Like wind, fire, water, like putting all this stuff together to like make who you are. And like don't be scared to like pivot and like try new things. Cause if I just was like, I want to be a rapper and put my head down, and I wouldn't have never found running that has truly changed my life more than anything. And I can still drop a song tomorrow. Okay. Like you're never going to miss anything. Just like be open to the pivot, open to be creative, and just follow your heart and like, you know, just love your people, love your city, love your community, and like just give your all. And that's my word. Reverend Ricky, that's my word for the day, people.
Beautifully said.
Running for real with Tina. This has been like this you turned me up to now. I'll put back on you because this has really caused me to reflect on like my running journey, and I never done that. This is my first like real like running interview, and I got to like kind of really like reflect in real time on like how I've grown, how St. Louis has grown, and how STL Run Crew, the crew, how we gonna continue to just grow.
You've grown so much in 1 year. It's beautiful. I'm so proud of you, and I love you, friend. Thank you so much for joining me.
Friend. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for championing me and empowering me and connecting me. And Chicago, we're gonna turn up in Chicago, and I'm excited. Thank you again.
Me too. Thank you so much, my friend.
Peace. Running for real.
Before we go any further, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Running for Real team. Without them, I would not be able to do barely anything compared to what I'm able to do today. They are behind the scenes. They are there for me. I am just so appreciative of them. To Jeremy Nessel, our podcast editor, audio consultant, and someone who's been with me since the start. To Sally Pontarelli, our content and operations manager, who is there day to day doing all the things to help me be successful. To Kelsey Wang, our head of design, and Louise Murphy, our associate designer. And finally, to Sandy Gutierrez, our photographer and content strategist. I am appreciative of all of you and wouldn't be able to do what I do without you. As always, I loved that episode. I loved my time with my friend, and I hope you will go check him out if you have not already. And next time you come to St. Louis, when you come to visit us, let me know, let Ricky know, and let's meet up together. You can find links to everything we talked about today in the show notes at runningforreal.com/episode 384. You can also find links to the show notes there, where you can find links to our friends at Tracksmith, to AG1, and to Precision Fuel and Hydration. Remember, with Precision, to go get yourself that fuel and hydration planner for free, or a consultation for free, as well as those discount codes for those brands. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you next week.